this is good. Commendable. Any other table complete? Okay, that table is complete. That's a big group and they're complete. Congratulations. Any more to come? Okay. All right, we need to get on. We have so many things to do and enjoy. All right. Would you please find that little clock? Okay. You have the clocks? Okay. Maybe we can start and others will join. Even my husband, he's coming. All right, we are ready to continue now. All right, write your name at some corner of that clock, your name, not in the boxes, but outside. Write your own name clearly in the corner of the clock. All right, we're going to do something. All right, ready? Okay, show me your clocks. Wave your clocks if you have written your name. Wow, looking good, looking good. All right. Yes. Okay, I like the way the whole group is together. All right. Okay, now we're going to do something very, very systematically. I need your cooperation. All right. You have those rectangular boxes around the clock, right? 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We are going to find appointments. Okay, and we have to do it smoothly. Okay, let me put down the music. Okay. All right, when I say go make a 3 o'clock appointment, you'll have to get up from your seat and take the clock along with you and find somebody else from another table and exchange the clock, where that person will write the name at the 3 o'clock box, and then you get the clock from that other person and write your name and then give back the clocks. Okay? You're making an appointment with somebody for the 3 o'clock. Are you following? Okay. Preferably from another table, because you're already talking about. Okay. Find the 3 o'clock appointment, please. 3 o'clock. Okay, it's good to get up from your seats, walk around, because that's part of inclusive practices. All right, come back. As soon as you found appointment, if you don't have, you can found. Come back, come back. Only 3 o'clock. Okay, please come back. Only 3 o'clock. Okay. Those who did more, okay, not very good. Okay. Only 3 o'clock. Do only one. Okay, please come back. Okay, come back to your seats. Yeah. Okay, that way we can do systematically. Okay? Okay, show me your clocks. Okay, wow. 3 o'clock? Okay, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Okay. 3 o'clock. Okay. Now we get up from our seats and go to another person, get 6 o'clock appointment. 6 o'clock. Please come back. In case we are odd numbers, there may be a group with 3, that's okay. I don't know how many we are. Okay? If 3 of you are doing, no problem. Come please? Okay. All right. So 3 and 6 are down. Okay, how does your clock look like? Show me how your clock. Okay. All right, good. Now we go for the 9 o'clock appointment. Find somebody else, different one. Different. All right, please come back. Okay, some are not wanting to come back anymore. You don't have proper passport. Come back. Your visa expired. All right, great. How does your clock look like? Oh, wow, nice. Almost done. Okay, now we go for the 12 o'clock appointment, the last one. Okay. Somebody new, somebody else. Somebody else. All right, now the clock is complete. Okay, wave your clocks. Let's see how it looks like. Oh, very beautiful. Okay, nice. This is a very important document. We will be using it from time to time. All right. You know, when you walk around meaningfully, okay, it kind of energizes you, and there are many learners who enjoy this kind of activity. But what we did is just a preliminary thing, but we will use this during our learning time, okay? So this is a preparation for activities later. All right, now you also have a page called, what is this called? Vocabulary Hunt. Vocabulary Hunt. There are 8 terms over there. I will give you about 4 minutes. 4 minutes to jot down what comes to your mind when you hear those terms. What are the terms? Okay, number one. Okay, learners with special needs. What comes to your mind? In the second column, I think it means just that one. Don't go anymore. The real meaning you can keep. Don't write anything there, okay? I think it means whatever comes to your mind, okay? Mainstream. What comes to your mind? Okay. Let me read as you write, okay? The first one, learners with special needs. Just write whatever comes to your mind. Simple, few words. Okay. This is not a test, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to grade you. Number 1 done. Okay, number 2, are you ready? Let's go to number 2. Mainstream. What comes to your mind? Mainstream. We're talking about the classroom use, okay? Classroom scenarios. Okay. No need to write so much, just a phrase, some words, okay? what comes to your mind? Okay, are you ready now for number 4? Okay, we are moving on. Number 4, if you're with me, we can move together. Differentiated instruction. We are on number 4. Anytime you can go back if you didn't finish something. I'm just trying to get the group together. Okay, differentiated instruction. Just from your own mind. You don't need to check any Google or anything. Just whatever you know now. In case you never heard of it or something, you can leave it blank, no problem. Okay? We are almost ready for number 5. Okay, let's go to number 5. Universal design for learning. Oof. By the way, if you don't know anything, you can leave it blank. Okay? Don't worry. We are in number 5. All right, some have finished audio. Good for you. All right, are we ready for number 6? Okay, number 6, individualized education plan. Individualized education plan. What comes to your mind? Now, we are ready to go to number 7. Ready for number 7? Okay, ableism. Ableism. Okay, what comes to your mind? And, oh, by the way, if you don't know, leave it blank. Okay, don't worry, it's not going to be checked and graded. Okay, it's a learning activity. Number 8, I don't think anyone will leave it blank now. We already talked about it. People first, language. That's one thing no one can miss. If you were here in the earlier session. People first, language. You can give an example if you want, or you can just tell what you understood. Okay. Oh, you moved together so well. Okay, did you all do something here? Okay, even if not all of them are completed, maybe because you don't know what to say, but you tried. All done? If you're ready, we are ready to go on. it's my desire and wish that by today and tomorrow, you will have a little clearer idea about each of those terms. Okay? All right. Already about people first language, most of you have an idea because we discussed it already. Okay. What did you write about people first language? I know you can bravely share that. Okay. Who is ready to share? What did you write about people first language? Yes, sir.
Language that put emphasis more on the person, not on the definition of the person.
That's right, okay? All right, the adjective should always be the person, not the condition, okay? All right, okay. Man, okay, who is blind, okay, so something like that, okay? So it's a respectful language used to put the individual first more than the condition. Okay? Something like that. Did you get it? Okay. Whether negative or positive, it's still fine. Okay, so like that we are going to have more clarity on the other concepts in case we don't know so much right now. Okay? All right, in creating an inclusive classroom. Let's go. Everyone ready? We know that inclusion is a basic need of human beings. I don't think I need to convince you on that. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, where do you find inclusion? The need for inclusion, where do you find it? Third, love and belonging is very much a need for human beings to thrive and go higher and higher for greater achievement. All right? And if we are ever wondering why some of our students are not achieving, maybe there is something lacking at the lower levels. It can be even the physiological need, it can be safety need, but is it love and belonging? If that is the problem, that we are responsible in many ways. Okay, so let us look at that. And even the lower ones, we may be able to help in some ways. We need to know how to help them. Okay, so, but today our focus is on the third level, love and belonging, which is inclusivity. Okay? All right. And we all know how we feel when we are excluded. Okay, some of you got a chance to discuss it in the previous session when we had an activity. All right, sir, about the visa, how you felt so terrible, didn't you? When there was a bias just because of your looks or your nationality or citizenship. Okay, it's terrible. And it may be some other way that our students are feeling the same. In the classroom, right under your nose. And we need to detect that. We need to be alert. Our antennas should be up and working to see if there are problems in the classroom. And are we also part of causing exclusiveness? Okay, this has to be remembered. All right, so there you are. We are not feeling so good about it, okay? We feel bad. And that's the way our students also feel. Okay, so included, wow, the opposite. Wow, we have all those wonderful feelings, comfortable, happy, confident, excited. Yeah, it's a good feeling that we have when we are included. And just the same, our students wish to be included. All right? Inclusion tells that you belong. You belong, okay? And you belong here in my class, right at this time, and I value you. And the biblical basis for inclusion is from Jesus. And now I give you a new commandment, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love. Very, very important. The basis of inclusion is simply love. All right, going back historically, we are living in much better times in some ways. But really, are we? All right, let's look at the historical progress or regression, whichever way we look at it, okay? But definitely the practices of inclusion have improved. There were times in different countries, whichever country you talk about, there were times, those were dark days, when those with differences, those with disabilities were hidden away at homes. Okay, that's called isolation. Okay, I remember in my own childhood having, okay, friends who had disabilities who never would go to school. They were simply at home. And later when I was in college, we had a neighbor who had a child who had Down syndrome, never go out of the house, not even in church. Okay, kept that child, the family kept the child at home, hidden. It was a shame to take the child out. And I'm talking not so many years ago. Okay, but in different places, wherever we are from, I have so many students from different countries at IS. And when I talk about this in my class, they tell, yes, my grandma talks about, okay, so years ago this was the reality, wherever you are from. Okay, so definitely things have changed. Okay, in 1980s as a whole, there was this movement called mainstreaming. Mainstreaming, okay? And you have that word there, mainstream, in your vocabulary hunt. Okay, it can be generally used very positively where students with different needs are integrated in the general education classroom, okay? But there was a catch. It was really screen and segregate. You can go there to the general education class, but it's a privilege. Okay, you can be there for a while for certain classes where you are capable of functioning. All right, but the real class, the general education class is for the typical students. Okay, you can be there, and there will be special ed teachers or the general education teacher who will give you some help. So the practice was still better than isolation, where no provision was available for students with disabilities and special needs. So mainstreaming looked much, much better than the previous practices. But that was not good enough, because those who visited the general education classes with special needs felt they were guests, they are like add-ons. They didn't necessarily always feel belonged, okay? All right. The philosophy was a little different. So, years later, actually to be very clear, it is in 1990s, early 1990s, where inclusive practices came about. The philosophy of inclusion is, yes, we still screen, assess, but wherever they are, maybe they are in a resource room, separate room for now, but they really belong to the general education class sometime or other. Sooner or later, we want them to come to join us in the general education class. They may be even in a special school because of their condition. But we are waiting for you in the general education classroom sometime soon. Please come when you're ready. Okay, that is inclusion, where there is still assessment, and according to their readiness, okay, they are placed, but they really belong to the general education class. Okay, all right. And the teacher in the general education class is waiting for them. It may not happen, it may happen. And I have seen this beautiful practice in many schools. One of the examples is Kavita Institute. Have you heard of Kavita Institute? Very much in Sinat. Okay? Just I took the other day my students of inclusive instruction. We went there. They have special classes where those with Down syndrome, very severe mental retardation, those children mental retardation are there. Okay, and there are resource rooms, another kind, where partially they may be pulled out, and for certain subject areas they need help, okay? And then they go back to the general education class. But those severe ones may still be there whole day, okay? And if you go to any general education class in Kavita Institute, you will find 2 or more students with disabilities in the class, okay? And they are learning together with the rest of the typical students. Okay, this is inclusion. And I have gone over the years, I have seen many times those in that special classes fully, whole day there. After 2 years when I visited, they are already in the general education class. What happened? Okay, the teachers were waiting for them, and they learned how to cope up. Their condition is still there. If they have mental retardation, probably mild, but now they know how to cope up, and they are now able to function in the general education class with the help of course, additional teachers. Okay? All right. So that is the practice of inclusion. Are you following this? Okay? All right. This is the practice of inclusion. We are so glad we are living in such days where that philosophy that every child belongs to my class, I mean, according to the level of their performance, I mean, okay, age and all that, okay? And I'm waiting for you when you're ready, okay? So this is the good thing. But we are moving ahead. Very fortunately, we are moving ahead. And that is the age of independence. What happens for those who are not able to go to college, to go get degrees, bachelors, and okay, medicine and so on? There is something called independence. There are schools where children who cannot function academically, they can be independent. They can earn their livelihood. Vocational classes are there. In Kavita Institute, they have for those who finished their schooling, they didn't finish in terms of academics, okay, because of their lack of ability to cope up, but they were moved from grade to grade because of their age, and they're able to mingle with others. Socially, they're able to perform well. But once the schooling is over, they have vocational training for them. Coffee making, candle making, and tailoring. And okay, the school is providing such training, independence. So they will be able to earn livelihood for them. Okay, and right in the Philippines we have examples. Okay, and this is the ideal thing that we are thinking of. Okay, all right, and this history along the years that have passed, this is a reality in different countries. Okay, in India it is true, and I believe it is true in the Philippines, this timeline. All right. Okay, so what is an inclusive classroom? Let us read the highlighted area together. Can we read it together? Go. A classroom with meaningful participation of students with special needs along with other students. Okay? Very, very, very heart-touching statement. Okay? A classroom with meaningful participation of students with special needs along with other students. That is the one. All right. And the philosophy, as we already saw, that they belong. Those students with special needs belong in the GE classroom. That is the idea. And one more thing, a teacher, you and I as teachers are not alone. How do we survive inclusion? How do we survive? Look at the second point. What is the secret? Can you summarize the secret? One word. Collaboration. Parents have to collaborate. There may be other teachers who may have to collaborate. Counselors, nurses. There are people who will come for the rescue and for our help, okay? And the school administrators have to be very much key in this collaboration, providing resources in terms of human resource and material resources. Yes. All right, very good. So very quickly, this is what we'll do. What are special needs? Now we are going into very serious discussion of what are special needs. Is there learners with special needs? I don't know what you wrote there, the first point. Okay, I'm not going to ask you because you may be shy in case if it's not what should be there, okay? And we are just going to see what do you mean by learners with special needs? Okay, who is a learner with special needs? There we are. There is an advanced organizer, quite complicated looking, but do not worry. Soon you will be very, very clear about this, okay? Special needs, you can see there? All right. There are 4 big groups of special needs, okay? The first one is disabilities. Those with disabilities. All right. And there are so many kinds of disabilities. Can you think of one kind of disability? Mental disability. Disabilities are conditions we cannot reverse. We can teach them to cope, manage, okay? But it cannot be restored. Okay? All right. Blindness. Now some of us almost, we have problem with eyes, but then when we wear glasses, we are okay. But there are students who may not be able to see even with glasses and so on, okay? So that is a disability, okay? All right. So what can we do? Okay, so partial blindness is a disability. Okay, orthopedic impairment, okay? One leg is cut off because of an accident. That's a disability. We can't put the leg back. But there may be, what is that? What's that called? Artificial limbs, okay? That can be placed to cope up. But that doesn't mean the leg came back, okay? All right, so this is how we are talking about, okay? Disabilities of all kinds. Then those who are gifted and talented, they are a problem. Did you know that? Those who are gifted and talented in a very positive way, but it can make you pull off your hair if you have any hair left on your head, okay? All right. Okay. So they are those who need special help, okay? So those with special needs. And the third one is culturally and linguistically diverse. We are not putting them among disabilities because they are those who can catch up and they become fine with help. Okay, you have had students who don't speak English, right? Okay, after a few months, we can't even make out they had a problem, right? Okay, so it's not a disability, it's just because of the context, where they're coming from and so on. So, but they may pose a problem for teachers at some time or other. Okay, so this is why they need help. Okay, and finally, at risk for school failure. All right, there are students who are at risk for school failure. Sir here mentioned to me, there's a student who completely misses classes, only came for final exam. Okay. All right. So that's an example perhaps of a student at risk for school failure. All right? But we cannot just tell, we need to assess in many ways what really is a condition. It can be one of the disabilities, okay? And we are seeing disabilities can be of 2 kinds. Disability is the heaviest of all for teachers to manage, okay? All right, and disabilities can be high incidence or low incidence. What that means is, among a given population of those with disabilities, if there are 100 students lined up with disabilities, Most of them may belong to this group, these groups, okay? 4 of them are there. What are they? LD. What is LD? Learning disability. There's no space, so I just wrote the short acronyms, okay? Learning disability, ADHD, very, very popular. Attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder is a mouthful, and they are a handful also, okay? If you have 1 or 2 of those with ADHD, your life will be very, very interesting in the class. Okay, all right. BD stands for behavioral disorder, sometimes also called emotional disorder. Okay, behavioral disorder stems from emotional disorder actually. All right, and then MR, mental retardation. Mental retardation. Okay, these are called disabilities because there's no way to improve the ability, okay? But we can help them cope. All right, so this is the types of groups we may find in our classes. Okay, from the group of disabilities. All right, and low incidence. We should not neglect that one. Low incidence would mean there are fewer among those with disabilities in that category, okay, or several categories, okay. All right, what are they? Communication disorder and autism. By the way, the statistics may change, okay, because I'm seeing autism increasing more and more. When we went to Kavita Institute, there are many more children with autism now there than before, 5 years ago. Before pandemic, I used to visit every year. Autism wasn't that prevalent, okay? Due to whatever reason, because of the seclusion. Okay, maybe we said social distancing. Wasn't that the theme song during pandemic? Social distancing, you need to be away from others. A good formula for autism, okay? Especially when they're small, because their brain development is still going on, okay? And the environment in which they are nurtured can influence the brain functioning, okay? Autism has to do with, okay, brain functioning, okay? All right, and so they don't like to be with others, and they don't like to talk with others. Okay, so that's one of the conditions of autism. All right, and then we have what? Physical and health impairments. Okay, this can mean many things like allergies and epilepsy, okay, things like that, okay? All right, and then sensory impairments, visual and hearing. All right, and in our classes, we may not have severe conditions because they cannot function. We are not capable of helping them. All right, remember they may have special schools for the severe cases, but if ever there are milder cases, we may find some of them in our classes, okay? All right, now we will proceed with just understanding the different disabilities. There's a list that's made, a list of 11 of them, okay? Learning disability is one of them, we already saw. Attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, and then we have the behavioral emotional disorder, mental retardation, just a list. And what we have included is separated communication disorder and autism, health impairment, orthopedic impairment. This is part of the physical and health impairment. Traumatic brain injury. Any nurses here? Nurses? No? Medical people? Oh, yeah. Okay. Traumatic brain injury comes because of external factors usually. Okay? An accident maybe, and somebody who was quite fine suddenly transforms into a person with disability. Brain functioning is affected, sometimes even the limbs. Like Johnny Erickson. You know the story of Johnny Erickson? Tada? Oh, an inspirational person. Okay, she was a teenager when she dived into the sea. She was very athletic, and then actually she didn't realize the floor of the sea was shallow, and she hit her head very badly, and she became paralyzed. Okay, from neck down. That's traumatic brain injury. Head injury caused the body to not function. All right, but now you can see her singing, giving inspirational talks, and painting with her head. Okay, pointer brush is stuck to her head, and she's doing much more than what we may do with all our abilities. Okay, how wonderful. Somebody helped her, that's why. All right, and then hearing and visual impairment and multiple impairments, multiple disabilities can be like Helen Keller, blindness and hearing and speech problem. Usually if you are deaf, you cannot also speak. Yeah, so that's an example of multiple disabilities. All right, the list is very, very sad to see, isn't it? I mean, it's a big list, and there's so many more you can add to this list. But these are the official United Nations listed items, okay, as official disability list. All right, let's look at each of them very quickly. Learning disability. If I were to summarize what is learning disability, it's a very perplexing condition when a student shows overall intelligence, no problem. But in a certain area, the student cannot function. Have you ever seen anyone like that? When a certain subject comes, there is a problem. So if you are a teacher of all the subjects, if you are in elementary school, and you are an elementary teacher, when a certain subject comes and the student cannot do well, we may label the child as being lazy, okay? Not working hard, and you push the child. Okay, and parents also can do that. This is called ableism. Did you see the word ableism there? This is, we are, okay, what shall we say, pushing a student or a child when they're not able to do it. Okay, unusual expectation. Okay, that's unrealistic expectation when the reality is that there is a condition that the student is not able to do. Parents are very famous for ableism. Oh, my child has no problem, but actually there's a problem. They are blind to it, and they think, okay, this laziness or their own mistake of not helping, but it may not be. Okay, there is a real problem. Okay, but anyway, but the condition of learning disability is very, very complicated. Okay, all right, because they are able to do well in most of the other things, but in certain things they can't do. Okay, so if you're consulting with each other as teachers, okay, in English, almost the highest, and when you look at math, failing, and you wonder, what? Okay, in English, so good, but in my class, failing. What did I do wrong? No, don't blame yourself. It may be the case of learning disability, but we cannot judge right away. We need to check, okay, and assess and so on, but it can be a possibility. Okay, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. What is happening here? How do we detect a student with ADHD? Very easy, right? Bouncing up and down, walking around, okay. Or even, maybe not that, just not paying attention, daydreaming. There are students who may not have hyperactivity, but they are quiet and we like them, but they're not paying attention. All right. So then our attitude changes, right? Oh, not paying attention, not good. Oh, I don't like you. Okay, no. Don't take it on the student, okay? All right, we love the student, not the condition. we need to do something to help, okay? All right, did you get it? So far, 2 of them down, okay? Is it helpful to understand these conditions? I hope so. All right, next, behavioral and emotional disorder. You can get confused with ADHD and BD. Why? Can you see the similarities? Behavior is the one, you can see them doing things that are very similar. But what's the difference? If I ask you, as a teacher, how do you know if your student, okay, that student, okay, you're thinking of that student, has ADHD or BD? Can you see the difference? The one with behavioral disorder is also very active. The one with ADHD is very active. What's the difference? Yeah?
ADHD students may do well in the classroom, while behavioral and emotional disordered, students who are
Okay, ADHD may not do well, may do well, and those with BD may not do well. Well, I don't know if I agree with you. There's no definite trend like that, okay? If they're not paying attention, they may not do well. They are capable, intelligently, okay? Those with BD also are typical in terms of intelligence. All right. But if they're not paying attention and not focusing, they may not do well anyway, okay? Now, but I'm asking, what is the real difference between ADHD and BD? Anyone?
BD is disruptive.
Okay, BD is disruptive. You're coming closer, yes. Okay. Those with ADHD, in milder way, they may be disruptive. They are walking around. But what I can add is, those with behavioral disorder are hurtful. They are dangerous. They hurt others. They're intentional. Those with ADHD, they can't help. They're just innocently doing things, okay, walking around, okay. In case if they bumped against somebody, it was not intentional because in their energy, okay, they just by mistake did that. But those who have BD, they are vicious. In the sense, verbally they abuse, they hurt others, okay, physically there are harmful things that they can do. And the intensity may vary. Some may be very hurtful, some are mild, okay. All right, so behavioral disorder, okay, are also active, but they can be more dangerous, okay. All right, I know in IS, a faculty, a missionary faculty who had to leave because their son from States, they were from States, their son was almost ready to kill another student with knife. Okay, there were different instances of hurting, but one day they found their child with a knife, homicidal, okay, tendencies. They can be that dangerous, okay. But that's a very different example. But not all are, okay, thinking of killing each other. Okay, so that is the one. Okay, mental retardation. That is very easy to understand. What is that? Okay, they have less IQ as a whole in every area. Social interaction, studies, music, whatever it may be, they are not able to function in a typical way. All-round problem. So because of that, they may have less friends because they are not able to cope up with others, okay? All right, so this is a problem. Okay, let's move faster because food is coming and, okay. No, it's only 11:10, okay. Oh, where are we now? Okay. Which is communication disorder. Have you had a student who has this one? Articulation problem? Um, like stuttering. All right. At times, the sound doesn't come. All right? Or the pitch. The pitch is so high. Okay, that's the way the sound is. Or the pitch is unusual for that gender, that age. Okay? It's not, it's just simply there, can't help. Okay? So that is communication disorder. Certain sounds can't be produced. Instead of cash, the child may say cas. The sh sound cannot be pronounced, no matter how much you try to help. Okay? So those are communication disorder. All right, autism, poor communication skills, extreme withdrawal. They just simply don't want to be with others. Even parents may find it hard. Okay, they may not be able to be hugged. They just will shrug you off, okay? Even in their young age. All right, by 3 years of age, you can see the symptoms already. All right? Okay, so autism, they may not have any necessarily any mental problem, but autism is a spectrum. There are those with severe mental retardation and those who are highly capable of functioning, like Asperger's, very, very capable. But they don't like to be with others, loners. Okay, physical and health impairments, allergies, asthma, diabetes. Young people with diabetes. Anyone had that experience of a student in the class who has to take diabetic medicine? Yeah, all right. Epilepsy, paralysis. It can be inborn or it can be acquired. There are some children who get it from parents, like allergies. But some, because of the environment, okay, they get it, yeah. Dust and pollen and things like that. All right, orthopedic impairment, using limbs, problem with that, okay? All right. Right now at IS, we have at least 2 students who have orthopedic impairment. One uses crutches, the other had polio. So he's so short, though he's capable, adult, because he's bent over, yeah. Yeah, very difficult to see here. All right. Okay, traumatic brain injury, I already told you about that. And sensory impairment, hearing and visual. All right. And multiple impairments, oh, more than one. Okay, I just described very briefly all these, okay? Now, gifted. You know, there's a difference between gifted and talented. They're put together, but separately mentioned. Gifted are those with high intelligence. It's the opposite of mental retardation. While those with mental retardation cannot function in any area of life in a typical way, those with giftedness will be highly capable. In terms of intelligence, they have more than 120. Okay? 120. The other day, my husband was listening to, what was that girl? An Indian girl who has the highest IQ. What's it? Sharma. Yeah. Yeah, please tell.
Yeah, the girl's name is Prisha Sharma. She's growing up in the United States, in I think Texas or somewhere there. And her IQ, they found out, she's only 10 years old. Her IQ is 195, the highest in the world. Nobody else in the world has that IQ. Even Einstein had IQ of 160. She's 195, and so Elon Musk, Elon Musk, is it? Yeah, the man who has a lot of money and he's in finding so many different things. He was working on intelligence, this and artificial intelligence, and they are making so many gadgets with artificial intelligence to work with people. And so where they were having conference and he was trying to explain. And so her teacher, she's in the, I think, third grade or fourth grade. So she was taken to the class, to this conference. She was sitting there. So people are asking how he is taking people to in the space and coming down. And when he was talking about how artificial intelligence is helping people, and they had devised certain thing, and he asked, anybody has a question? This girl raised hand. And he said, this small girl, what? So when she said, I studied your artificial intelligence, what you have made, and I read all the articles about that, and you have made a mistake in preparing that gadget. If you insert it in the people, to have the artificial intelligence work in their body, that device is in 3-4 years, it will deteriorate and that person will die. And he said, no, I was so much, his team was there. Those who are highly educated, all PhDs with all electronic engineering and everything. But she said, no, it will not work. And so they all sat together, they took her to other room and they told, show us any notes you have. She had prepared notes on that. And she showed how it works. Now, she is with his team. They took her and they said, please help us to modify and change this. And she devised an item which is workable with very much, and she is such a young girl, very intelligent, but such are rare people. They are not very common. Such are rare people. But she is considered as the most intellectual person in the world now.
Oh, we are proud that she's an Indian. Okay, no, that's a bias, right? Okay, all right. Okay, but God gave her so much of ability. We praise God for that. All right, well, they are all-rounders, they are good leaders, okay. And some of them may even have talents. Talents, by the way, may not come with giftedness. There may be an unusual ability, music, athletic. Unusual, it's not because of training alone, it's simply there. Okay, we can't explain how that ability came. All right, so that is usually talented. But many gifted, those who are gifted are also talented because of their intelligence. They are also able to train themselves and become people of talents. Okay, how are those with intelligence and those with talents a problem? Why are they in this list with special needs? Okay. Yeah, they become bored or they ask questions and they answer before the teacher can complete the question. Okay, and they nag. Okay, a lot of comments